Alright, thank you. I'm gonna go visit the stable for now. Alright, you can do your thing if you want.
Thank you. I would prefer if an officer is in here with me.
Understood.
Mugshot.
I'm just gonna set up a little camera over here.
So fingerprint.
Alright.
Mugshot they can take in there. Mugshot's near the cells, and we're not bringing them over there. Do you want to fill me in on?
Officer, will you please Mirandize this person before I begin the interrogation so that it's on video record?
Yes, ma'am. Sir, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say, Tiana will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right for an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided to you by the state, if available. Do you understand these rights?
Yes.
Thank you.
What is your name?
Cyrus.
What is your last name, Cyrus?
Axel.
And why are we here today, Cyrus?
You tell me.
Well, I'm here as you were arrested. I'm a lawyer. I was brought here for the legal advice for the PD. And do you know, in your own opinion, why would you say that you were arrested?
I do not know. Maybe it's because of my creations.
Your creations. Will you elaborate on that?
Well, you see, I have 14 current creations. These are people who have been on the verge of death, and I make them into somewhat robots that I can control.
Do these people ask you to do this?
No, but I save them from death.
Would you give up your own free will if it meant you could continue to live?
Fair question.
Are you getting some science Jason in
She
there?
has
Skills right
14
now.
experiments.
Yeah.
Yes.
She now has
Where
a
are the
max-based
others?
stomach.
Yes, let's go.
You don't know where your experiments are.
Because she had a synthetic stomach that was ruptured, so stitching
Mm.
didn't work. It was just plastic. It was a cheap one. So I refitted the socket and hooked up one of Max Bay's.
I lost,
Hell yeah.
lost contact with some of my creations.
Let's go.
What are the names of your 14 creations?
Project 1, Project 2,
Understood.
Project 3. Oh, okay.
Could you give us some explanation as to how these procedures take place?
It depends. They're all very different. Let's, you want me to use Project 7 as an example?
Yes, please.
On Project 7, I was only able to save some of her brain. Not all of it. And so then I put that into a mechanical body. I run circuitry and put a chip in there for my control. And then I put over some... It was not human skin. It was more... It was like a fake human skin. Something to simulate our skin as best as I could with what I had. And then became Project 7. I had a robot with like half a brain. no longer human.
What
He's
is
not
the...
really human when I found her, to be fair.
What is the objective of these experiments?
There's no objective. Well, I guess you could say it's an objective to try to make a human that I can control. But so far, they've been mostly robotic. But then came along Project 14. Project 14 has been my most perfect so far.
Hmm.
Mostly human.
Why do you
Sorry.
want a human you can completely control?
Why not? To have subjects at my will.
Can you have a meaningful conversation with someone you fully control?
No, I do not need to. As long as they listen to me and to everything I say.
Hmm. You've said you've had 14 experiments. Has every experiment been a success?
I wouldn't call 13 of them a success, to be honest. Number 14 is probably the most successful, which I would call a success.
Are there any experiments who didn't make it to the naming phase as they died in the process?
Ah, you mean failed experiments.
There were some other heroes who were involved from earlier on in the situation. I couldn't
I
go
would have to
partway
think.
through, but I got a pretty comprehensive understanding of it.
There's been a few that I can recall.
Hmm. How long have you been doing this?
A long time.
How long have you been in this city?
Also a long time.
Have you been doing this outside of this city, or have all your crimes been located to this city?
Both.
Hmm. How many of your experiments came from this city?
All 14.
Hmm.
The failed ones were not here. But when I moved here, when I took up that island to be my new home, well, no, even before that, when I was experimenting in humane labs, that is where I made most of my projects. But I did move them to the island also.
Understood. Now, earlier you said that you would rather die than lose your free will. I have a question
No,
for you. If
I don't
someone
think I
was...
said that.
She's been dead for 9 months and no one thought to fucking share this
hasn't been
information
there?
with me?
You dialed.
Would you be willing to give up your free will if it meant you could continue to live?
Hmm. Now I see what you're asking. Hmm. That is a tough question. I do not know.
Now, that you chose people who were on the verge of death, did you do this because you cared about the fact they were going to die, or because they'd make the easiest subjects and the least people would be looking for them?
Bingo. The second one.
Understood. And if your experiments went uninterrupted, you had full access to everything you needed, when would they stop?
Never.
Hmm. Where can
I
you
would.
get access? I do apologize. Continue.
Oh, I would create the perfect specimen.
Describe the perfect specimen to me.
Like I said before, a human I could control.
Are they all female?
No,
Understood.
they just have to be on the verge of death.
Of course. What would have to be done to make it where you would have no access to the supplies you need to continue to do this?
Of the radio. The radio might work, yeah. Well, maybe.
I would probably
Maybe
have
not.
to be locked away. Somewhere very secure.
If you were locked away, would you accept that, or would you still try to seek freedom and continue your experiments?
I would seek freedom.
How good at you at achieving what you go after?
So far, I mean, I have not reached what I want to go after so far. So probably not very good. My perfect specimen is not made.
How driven are you to achieve your goals?
Look, I revertedly not the fucking animal that white squishy looks like
How
it
many people
looks
have
like
you
a
worked with on these
capybara.
experiments?
I have a pink capybara squishy. Hold up, my squishy.
I'll repeat the question. How many people have you worked with on these experiments? Have these experiments been your sole creation?
What do you mean by that question? Did I work alone?
Yes. Where did you learn the skills you need to do what you're currently doing?
When you say I went through university and then I landed a job at your main labs.
Understood. And what was your means of taking your subjects to experiment on?
What do you mean by this?
In what means did you transfer them from one point to another?
Oh,
Or how did
transfer.
you?
Well, this depended. Most of the time it was my ability to warp.
Warp? Could you explain that to me?
I can take multiple people at once from one location to another.
Sounds like they're probably a very resourceful person. Would you consider yourself quite resourceful?
From my own means, yes.
Understood. Now, I'm going to ask you a very straightforward question. Did you take 14 individuals, experiment on them, strip away their free will, and turn them into your slaves with no consent at all from them?
How could they consent? They were almost dead.
Understood. If someone were to take your free will from you, what would you do with that person if you had the opportunity?
Rude.
Most likely killed them.
I'm calling in
Understood.
regards to this.
Officer, do you have any questions at all?
I do not.
Understood. I'm going to end this recording now. Thank you for your time. And there might be a second interrogation if we can get a medical professional to talk to you about the medical side of things.
Okay.
Right this way, ma'am.